This program on investing under regulation crowdfunding is not investment advice.
Rising with the crowd, power unbound, change makers lead where hope is found. Superpowers for good, shaping the fate. Investors and dreamers open the gate. Supercross stands loud, proud and true, building tomorrow for me and you.
You know, if you're like me at all, and maybe you're not, but if you're like me at all, you've probably wondered, you've thought to yourself, boy, I wish my snacks were better for me and for the planet. Well, my guest today started with those questions in mind and has built a big snack business that you can invest in now. Stick around. You don't want to miss this great episode with Juan Guzman. So stick around. Juan, welcome to the show. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, Devin. Good to be with you.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this conversation because, you know, let me be honest. No one in the world probably loves snacking more than I do. It's kind of my jam. Um, but I also want to, be mindful of the planet, and I want to be mindful of my health. It's a real tug of war all the time. Tell us about Artisan Tropic and what your products are and how people can get them and why they're better.
Sure. Yeah, it's a really fantastic story of how everything started, and the genesis of it is my family is from Colombia, and we have the heritage and the love for tropical food. We moved to the States in the 90s, and in the early 2010s, my sister had a health condition that was very complicated and challenging, and our whole family went on this collective journey of reconnecting to real food, and we became passionate about using food as a way to heal ourselves and to heal our communities and our planet. And that was the original inspiration for starting Artisan Tropic. How do we build a brand that makes real food snacks and that brings those incredible, super nutritious, delicious foods from the tropics to the U.S. consumer? And so we have a line of plantain and cassava chips that have been in the market for 11 years, since 2014. And we just launched a line of grain-free crackers earlier this year that have been tremendously received as well from retailers and consumers alike. And those are mainly made with plantain flour and with cassava flour. So again, we're iterating on those tropical ingredients and bringing real food in a snacking, convenient presentation.
That's fantastic. It really is kind of exciting to be thinking about how food, could make us healthier. And, some of us still are old fashioned enough that we kind of take for granted that food is good for us. And yet, so much of the highly processed food that we consume really isn't very healthy anymore. Uh, Now, you've also taken, especially in recent years, this idea of regenerative agriculture quite seriously, and you're beginning to implement practices and procedures to ensure that there's a more regenerative approach in your supply chain as well. I wonder if you could share a little bit about what drove that and what you're doing specifically to accomplish that.
Yeah, for sure. It's something I'm very passionate about. Our family, the Genesis story I told you is real. It's authentic. My sister's very healthy and living vibrantly, strictly through changing her nutrition and addressed all these health conditions. And so we, from the start, had this conviction about the possibility of our food healing us. When we started the brand, and this is something I didn't know was so strange or rare in the food industry, but the very first time we went to the region to start, we spent the first day on a farm with a farmer, touching the soil, learning about the plants, putting our hands in the dirt. And that planted seeds in us that I think were unique to many founders and owners of a food brand, right? Who have never stepped on a farm, don't know where the raw materials for their products are coming from. And so that grows and evolves into my sister married the grandson of that farmer that we spent that first day with. And in relationship with her father-in-law, who is a second generation plantain farmer in Colombia, we began to learn and explore and understand about it's not just like the ingredients in our food, but also the way that food was grown and the different lives that are being impacted in those systems that's important. And so regenerative agriculture is a word that's very popular now, but it's really just doing things the way our grandparents did them. And so it's farming in a way that supports life on the farm. It supports the soil life, it supports the animal life, the plant life, the biodiversity of that ecosystem. Because ultimately, the food that we eat is only as good for us as the environment, the soil, and the nutrient density of the farm that it grew in. And so in 2021, we started a little pilot project at a small family farm we have to design, what does the regenerative agriculture concept look like in this region of the world? And so how do we intercrop plantain with cacao and coffee and cassava and perennial trees and fruit trees? And so this is the way our grandparents did it. It's really a modern phenomenon, this thing of like, let's wipe out all the cacao and the coffee on a farm and just plant plantain. That's a very strange thing that we did in like the effort to be more efficient. But the thing that happened is that the resiliency of those farms definitely took a hit, and so there's a lot of plagues or a lot of different climate issues that affect farms where they are not resilient the way that they used to be. And so we are now that pilot on our family farm started. We're now involved in a couple other projects in the region where we lease the land and we implement some of the same practices. And we started a partnership earlier this year with a fantastic organization called Acceso, and they have a network of over 4,000 farmers in Colombia that they partner with to support them with technical training, with small loans, and with a way of implementing more regenerative practices on their farms and guaranteeing a market for those crops. So it's a fantastic partnership that's going to help us scale the impact. And I must say, it's obviously about the health of the soil and the ecosystem and the plants and the vibrancy and nutrient density, but it's absolutely essential that we consider the whole spectrum of the farmers and the community that are involved. There can't be regenerative without the fair wages and the fair working conditions and all the things that are important as we go into that system and look at how those farmers and those communities are affected. So
Yeah.
it's small farmers that we partner with, and we're supporting them through our supply system.
It is intriguing to think about all the levels of impact in your work, right? There's good for the planet approach, right? That you're really embracing, leaning into now. You've got the good for your body approach that sort of drove the project from the get go. And then the community impact, especially for the farmers. As you think about this, how have you tried to implement that with respect to the farmers? What are some of the specific things you're trying to do to support and embrace and make sure that this business is fair to them?
Yeah, we definitely look at the triple impact: the social, the environmental, and then the impact on our health, and obviously the profitability of the business. All those things have to work together in a regenerative system. And as far as the farmers, there's direct fair wages, which is definitely an issue in a lot of supply systems. There's a lot of middlemen and brokers that take a big cut, and that ends up affecting the price that the farmer receives. There's also just the practical implications of farming without chemicals and farming in a way that the farmers and their families aren't being exposed to a lot of agrochemicals that are known to be detrimental to human health. So that's a huge piece. And then with Acceso and our partnership with these small farmers, there is a bi-yearly survey that helps us track some of the profitability metrics. And what they've shown and learned is that within 2 years of working with Acceso, the farmers are making twice as much as they used to. And so our partnership with them is an effort to scale that and to say, we want to invest into these small farmers in a way that supports that same goal.
So every time someone buys a box of your crackers or a bag of your chips, they're supporting this work. But right now, you also have your WeFunder campaign going where you're raising capital. Uh, Tell us a little bit about what motivated the desire to raise capital, especially from the crowd.
Yeah, it's a really exciting thing. I've been so impacted and very thankful so far for the communication and the interaction with our community. It's special because the company is 100% bootstrapped and family owned, and it's been 11 years. And we're really at an inflection point of growth um, that requires financial capital, right? There's incredible opportunities at retail and with some different key partners, including Whole Foods and Costco, that require money up front to be able to take advantage of those growth opportunities. So we, as part of our fundraising strategy, we thought, what better way than to like leverage the amazing community that we have and that we've built for over a decade to really come on board and participate and be investors in what we're building. And what better way to put your money to work, not just in a way that you're going to look for the financial return, but also the other triple impact pieces that your money unlocks in this supply system that we're a part of. It's really fantastic so far, the conversations and the different people that have come on board from our community and different parts of our network. Really excited.
Well, it really is inspiring to see that triple impact. You think about healthier snacks, better for the planet. Anything that's better for the planet is better for all of us, whether or not you're eating the food. Right? We all benefit from lower carbon emissions, for instance. Uh, so, and then of course the benefits to the farmers. But it's kind of a triple play. Now that's the wrong sport. We should just take a moment to pause and say, uh, you know, Juan, you came at this as a professional athlete, and so that framed some of your desire to maintain health, right? You didn't talk about that, but I've got to think that during your professional career, you seriously had to be really mindful about fitness and health. How does that connect into your work a little bit?
Yeah, it was definitely a big piece of my career and my curiosity because it coincided with my sister's health journey. So early on, I remember getting so interested in how to feel right, how do I recover right. I was very fortunate to have a long and healthy career, and I think a big piece of it was the way that I fed myself and the way that I fueled my body. Um, we we started off, and maybe people can relate to this, like think about 10, 11 years ago, there was a huge movement into paleo, right? The paleo diet. And that's really where we started. um, it was a big piece of sort of our brand and our product offering was paleo certification that we got on all of our products. And as that sort of evolves, the consumer consciousness and the conversation around trends and what consumers are looking for changes. One of those things is, there's a big conversation around the possible harm of an excess of seed oils in our diet. And um, this was a thing that from day one we were convinced about and convicted about with my sister's journey, that we were not going to use seed oils in any of our products. And I remember, 11 years ago, kind of like blank faces when we would bring this up to retailers. Fast forward now, it's one of the most important and trending certifications. It's one of the highest levers of growth in the category. And it's one of the things that sets our products and our crackers specifically apart, is that they're certified seed oil free. And so as we have presented those and done demos and showed those to consumers around the country, that's the number one thing people are looking for and interested in. And
Yeah.
we were, very early into that trend, but out of conviction and not out of like trend, but out of like, we saw how important it was to my sister's health, and we all
Yeah.
jumped on board.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Well, listen, Juan, we've got to take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a minute. Folks, I'm here today with an extraordinary guest, Juan Guzman, and he is the CEO and founder of Artisan Tropic. It's an amazing snack food business that is striving to be good for the farmers that source the raw ingredients, good for the planet, good for your health. Oh my gosh, this is a super high impact business, raising capital now on WeFunder. Check it out at s4g.biz/tropic. But we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk to Juan about his superpower. So stick around. You don't want to miss this.
Download a free copy of How to Make Money with Impact Crowdfunding, the book Sarah Hanks describes as
a fantastic overview, not just of crowdfunding investing, but of investing in general.
Andrew Savickas raved.
This book offers unparalleled insights for anyone looking to make a difference.
Scan the QR code to get your copy.
At Super Green Live, climate capital meets innovation. Join investors and entrepreneurs building real solutions for a sustainable future. From live pitches to expert insights, discover how impact capital powers climate action.
We're looking at a future powered by innovation, a world where technology and sustainability converge for the greater good.
Be part of the movement. Register now at supergreenlive.org. Struggling to raise capital for your business? Unlock the power of the crowd with AI. My free guide, Crowdfunding Made Simple, walks you through every step to success. Get funded smarter, faster. Scan the QR code now for your free download.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm here today with Juan Guzman, CEO and founder of Artisan Tropic, an amazing food and beverage company. But we're going to shift gears now to talk to Juan about his superpower. Stick around. You don't want to miss this conversation. Juan, you really are an impressive, amazing guy, professional athlete. You had the opportunity, you're the CEO and founder of a company. I love the way you're leaning into impact, three very distinct and important ways. You're an impressive guy. And the success you've had with the business. This isn't a rank startup. You've been selling product for over a decade. This is amazing. What is your superpower?
Oh, Devin, thank you. It's very kind of you. There's a real, genuine belief in what we're doing and a passion to the family story and the different pieces that I've mentioned, right? Like our love for Colombia, our love for the people there, for the many lives that are a part of this, that are being impacted by what we're doing. Our love for food. It's one of the few things that like everybody has to interact with. Like you have to interact with food. And so the opportunity to do our piece and to steward what we have really well is something that you know drives us and gives us energy day after day. Um, I love my family. I have a beautiful wife and two young kids, and it's really exciting when you think about how do we create a better food system for our kids and our grandkids. I know that Artisan Tropic can't change that by itself, but how can we do our part to um, to impact and influence the food system in a better way for the future generations? And uh, it's amazing to watch my 2-year-old run around with a bag of our plantain chips, and I know, like, I feel 100% confident that it's like really good food for him, and I have no issue with it because I'm so deeply involved with it. And yeah, my parents, my parents founded the company and have given their life and energy and everything to it, and there's a different level of commitment when you have your parents and your family that you're working hard for.
Yeah. As you think about your superpower, I wonder if you can think about an example, a story that would help explain your superpower. Maybe you can think of something that isn't directly related to the business, although I know the business is such an important part of your life. But how could you illustrate your superpower for us?
Yeah, there's a there's a real beauty to our family dynamic. I think that the uh, life and my career and different things made it so that I was living in New Mexico when we first got married. But we would talk with my sister all the time about what a dream and a prayer it would be if we could all live in the same city someday. And so when we decided to move to Dallas, which is where my wife is from, uh, that same December, my sister told me, "Hey, we're decided to move to Dallas and be near you guys, and not just us, me, my husband, and our two kids, but mom and dad as well." And so that cohesiveness, that love, that support that my parents have always instilled in my sister and I has led to like the beautiful fact that now they're living here in Dallas as well. And there's nothing that makes me happier than seeing the cousins playing together. So like my two little guys and my sister's two kids, knowing that they're seeing each other on a weekly basis and having all these beautiful memories of growing up together is just priceless to me.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Uh, I wonder, Juan, if you could share a tip or two to help us all be a little bit more like you to manifest and feel and sort of exhibit your superpower. What would be your tips?
Oh, it's very kind of you. My superpower, if I my love for my family is my superpower. I try to be present. Um, I try to love and I try to listen with my kids specifically, right? They're very young, they demand a lot of attention and energy, and there's definitely a draw to want to be halfway engaged when I'm with them, whether it's a phone around or a screen or anything else that we're distracted by. And so one of the things I try to lean into is being really present when I'm with them, and putting the phone away, whatever it is that they're looking at or wanting to do, being very present. Um, that's maybe one small tip that I try to
Yeah,
remind myself of. Love is being present.
that's a great takeaway. Love is being present. I love that. Uh, Juan, as we wrap up now, tell people how they can invest, what they do to invest, how they can learn more about the business, how they can get the products, how they can connect with you. You're a big deal. They want to connect with you. What's the process?
That's very kind of you, man. Yeah, I'm thrilled if people can go and check out the Funder campaign. That's in the link here. We're having a investor webinar November 13th that you can sign up for and learn a little more if there's, obviously more questions than what's outlined in the campaign. Our socials are at Artisan Tropic on Instagram. That's probably the best place to reach out with a DM and have any kind of question answered.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're
Well,
thrilled.
yeah, we're out of time, Juan, but thank you so much for being with us. We want to wish you every success in this great work that you're doing.
Thank you, Devin. Thank you guys for your time.
All righty now, let's do some good.